Hello, my name is Henry. Welcome to another unlikely venture. Today we're going to make a pen. I've already picked out what pen kit we're going to use. It's a slimline gunmetal color. Now we need to pick our pen blank, the wood that the pen's actually going to be made of. Since I'm making this for camera Q, he's going to pick what blank he wants. Let's head over to the bandsaw and cut this blank in half. I went ahead and set my bandsaw fence to be just a little bit longer, maybe 1/4 of an inch longer than that brass tube. I will go ahead and get this pen blank cut. I've got one of the two halves of the pen blank here.
X marks the spot.
X marks the spot. I want the hole to be straight down into the center of that. So I put it in these jaws. Yeah. So I think this one's done. Yep, all the way through.
So now we go in for the second half.
So now we're going to do the second half. Okay, so now we're going to get the copper tubes glued into these. We're going to need a couple things to do this. Some medium viscosity CA glue, some activator, our pen materials, some sandpaper, and then I like to do all my CA gluing on top of a piece of HDPE because nothing sticks to this stuff. It stops me from ruining my table. So I got 100 grit Abernet sandpaper, and I'm just going to use that to scuff up the brass tube so that the glue can adhere to it better and my wood doesn't come flying off, hopefully, during the lathing process. I like to scuff up my fingertips during this process too, so that the glue sticks to them real well, because that's fun.
Probably not, right?
So this is what we've got now. I don't know if you can, cameraman, can we see those scratches in there? Okay. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and get these glued in. Okay. Let's see.
Did you glue your top on?
So I don't glue my top on. The glue does that every time. It's just full of glue. I don't know how that's supposed to not happen. Anyway, I'm going to use a stick so that I don't get CA glue all over my fingers. Just put a line of glue down the pen. You see that? And I'm going to spin this while I put it on the brass tube so that the glue gets spread all around. Alright, wiggle it off. And that's it. You see there's a little bit of room on both sides of the tube. I guess I'll put it drippy side up and do the next one. I'll hit it with a bit of activator, and this is going to dry that glue up. It's wet right now, and it's going to dry up almost instantly with this activator. Now I'll get the other side.
Recording.
Ask me what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
I'm, so...
Well, that was for nothing.
Okay, so the fact that that brass tube inside of that wood doesn't come all the way to the surface means we can't turn these yet. We need to get the edge of the wood flush with that brass tube. And we're going to use the drill press to do that, and a special tool that most people refer to as a pen mill, though I'm not sure why. Make a sound. Oh, wait. Do it again. Do it again. So this is a new set I just got from a company called Woodpeckers. We need the base part, and then we need one of these that is 7 millimeters. Small one. It's the small one. So this will fit perfectly inside of that brass tube. And this will use these carbide bits to shave away that wood. So we're going to get this mounted in here. I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to backtrack on not using this.
Okay.
I know I'm done when I see tiny pieces of brass shavings flying away. So now the brass tube is flush with the wood instead of being buried in it. Can you see the difference? Mm-hmm. If I move them around, does that help? Okay. Okay. Now we can move over to the lathe. I'm over here at the lathe. We've got our pen blanks ready to go. We're going to get it chucked up. I have a mandrel, a pen mandrel here with the mandrel saver on the end. I'll show you how that works. Make sure that lines up nice. It doesn't. I want to flip this one around. There we go. That lines up. We'll go ahead and pull the mandrel saver over. If we lock down the tailstock, now we're ready to go. I'm going to make sure I'm on the highest gear that my lathe has. I want these pieces of wood spinning as fast as possible. The faster they go, the smoother the cut I'll get. So I'm going to use the round carbide bit. Let's get to work. So right now these pen blanks are both squares, and you know, round things are round and not squares. So I'm going to make them round first. So I'm going to go in and sort of chip off all the corners until they're round, and then I'll assess what shape I want the pen to be. Still got one little flat spot. So, what kind of shape should these be? This will be the front of the pen. This will be the back of the pen. I'll do the front side slightly convex, so just a little arc, and then the back part will be fairly flat, just a little bit bigger than the bushings.
Sounds good.
I'm going to switch over to a flat carbide bit so I can get the line a little straighter. We finished the shape of our pen. We're gonna go ahead and start sanding. I don't know why I'm holding that yet. I am not at that stage. Sandpaper time. I've got a bunch of different Abranet style sandpaper. I don't know if this brand is actually Abranet or not. It's like a mesh instead of paper. It helps the sand particles to go through it instead of getting clogged up, so the sandpaper just lasts a little bit longer. I like it. I don't like it sometimes. I don't know. It's all right. I'm going to use that. I'm going to sand from 150 to 600, and then we're going to move on to the more interesting. I'm going to put on a dust mask because it gets very dusty. Also, importantly, I'm going to turn the lathe on reverse, just because I want all the sand particles going away from me and towards this poor bastard. I'm going to give you a dust mask to put on because it really is about to get dusty. The first grit takes the longest by far. It's the only grit that should be used for the actual shaping. So right now I'm trying to get the ends of the barrels to match up with these bushings. Every subsequent grit is only used to get rid of the marks from the previous grit. One thing I really like to do after sanding each grit with the lathe on is turn the lathe off and sand side to side. I find that if I don't do that, I'll have all these tiny scratches going in concentric circles around the wood. I'm not sure if the camera lens can actually pick up those little lines, but by going side to side, I can get rid of those before moving on to the next grit. The least uniform pattern possible is the best pattern for sanding. Okay, and we're going to do that for 4 more grits. We'll check back in then. Now it's time to move on to the final stage of assembly. I've got all the parts laid out down here, starting with the tip of the pen all the way to the back of the pen. This is exactly how we're going to lay it out, and we're going to start sort of from front to back. So we're going to start with the front of the pen. I'm going to take the tip and the front barrel and get it loaded into the press. And then we're just going to ease this handle in and get them pressed together. That's it. I like to be nice and gentle. If you push too hard, you can crack the wood. So there's the front. The next piece is the mechanism that lets you turn the pen to extend the tip. So we're going to press that in just up till that line. There we go. The pen came out pretty well, but let's just look at the pen for now. Let's see if I know how to focus the camera. I don't. There we go. Yeah, pen looks great. Lines line up really well from front to back. Everything lines up the way it's supposed to. Even when you turn the pen to release the nib there, everything lines up. It's been a success. Join me next time when we go on another unlikely venture. I'm not sure what we're going to make yet, but we'll find out in hopefully a week or two. See you then. Outro. Play the outro. Play the outro. We don't have an outro?